I mean, I had doubts and fears of buying my first home. It's like a spreadsheet, you put the work into it and then it starts working for you over time. Is this the right company? Is this the right one? Did I make the right decision? Management One is great, and it's worth it. Oh yeah, after about the first year, I realized how valuable that my decision was to go with property management.
Want to see what your experience has been, as far as with Management One over the years. I mean, you've been with us now over 20, I think it's 23 years. It's hard to believe, huh? It's over 2 decades.
Yeah,
and
time goes by fast after a while.
It really does. So, but let me ask you this: when you first started thinking about using a property management over 20 years ago, why was it important for you to dedicate energy towards looking at management companies?
Well, it's like a spreadsheet, you put the work into it and then it starts working for you over time. So initially I thought about that, and I don't know how I learned about management companies. I knew nothing about property management, and I wanted to rent my house out because I didn't want to sell it. I was moving, and I didn't have to sell it. So someone mentioned property management, so I started looking into that, and I really wanted to manage my time. So that's what really helped me to start looking into that.
Mm-hmm. So after you started looking in, how long did it actually take you to take action towards interviewing management companies?
Not long. I don't remember. Like I said, it was so long ago, 2 decades ago. I don't remember the details, but it wasn't long. I mean, it doesn't take me long to research and make decisions. So I would say probably within a week or two.
Yeah, and those were the days before internet was readily available, right? Not like it is today.
Right.
Those days you really had to research. So once you made the decision, what were some of your self-doubts or fears, once you decided to go with Management One, and once you pulled the trigger?
Just going into the unknown, I mean, I had doubts and fears of buying my first home. I was in my 20s, and then now I'm going to rent it out, years later. And so just the unknown, the inexperience with property management. I knew nothing about property management except what little bit I've read about them and, talking to companies. So just wondering how is this going to work out?
So is there anything in particular you were really nervous about as far as whether it be going with us or somebody else?
Just, is this the right company? Is this the right one? Did I make the right decision? Or, so because, like today you can read reviews all day long on the internet, professional reviews and personal reviews. And we didn't have that back then. There might have been some, but you really had to dig. There was a little bit of internet at that time, but nothing like today. So just wondering if I made the right decision and picked the right company.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The Better Business Bureau, the BBB, was available back then, but nobody knew how to contact them. It wasn't like Google or Yelp or things like that today. And so even today we talk about it, but especially younger people, they don't even know what you're talking about when you say BBB.
Yeah.
Because it's not in their wheelhouse, right?
Right.
So what was the one thing or the magnet that attracted maybe our company over other companies that you looked at back then? Was there any one thing?
I think just Management One seemed to be very thorough and clear up front with everything, and looking at it, I felt the most comfortable with this one, just because the feedback I was getting and I'd like to be having a property management is so the landlord can be hands off, and that's what I was looking for. So when looking at this one, I noticed they seem to be very thorough. They know what they're doing, and looks like they have it all under control. So it was that's what kind of helped me, attracted me to this.
Okay. So now you have had the one property there like 23 years, and then you have a second property, right? That you've had since like 2016. Are those the two properties that you have right now in your portfolio?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. I know on the rents on Ali Sheba I looked at when we first took over the property 23 years ago. The rent was $850. Now it's $2,100, and it's almost ready for another good bump because the prices are really increasing in the rental market today. It's much more than $75 or $100. It's more like $250 or $400 increases, and even that is low compared to some people that are getting hit with $700, $800. We're not going to do that to your resident or our residents, okay? But we are going to be much more aggressive because the price of materials, the price of gas, everything is going up, and so unfortunately, the repair costs are going to be higher than they were in the past, right? So we got to get ahead of the curve to make sure we take care of you guys. Was there anything like in the first year, if you can think back, that kind of was unexpected that came up that you thought, wow, I didn't know they did that? Is there anything? I know it's been quite a few years ago, but.
Well, I just remember the record keeping and that sheet that I got that broke down all the payments and repairs and everything. I thought, oh wow, this is great. This is very detailed. So, that was on a positive note. That was really something that I really appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. We created when we first started the company years ago, we had different contractors and everybody has a different invoice, and then they were chicken scratching, right? And nobody could read this chicken scratching, and every invoice is different. So if you got 10 repairs, you had 10 different invoices. Like, well, where's everything at? And so that's when we systematized and made it mandatory that all the vendors we use, they have to use our invoice. So it makes it easier for you, the client. And so that seems to have worked out really well. So, I'm glad that you appreciate that. So when you had vacancies and major repairs over the years, how did you handle those stressful times financially and emotionally and stuff?
I don't get too stressful or emotional about things. I've had a full-time job the whole time I'm working. Able to use that for the repairs and all that, and not have to, and then have a separate account for the rent money.
That's good.
But it was never really stressful. Well, the Ali Sheba house, there was a little bit of stress there. There was a major undertaking when we had to start off. We did a lot of work. And what I really enjoyed, though, that kind of made it easier was the choice I had to go with Management One approved contractors or do it myself or take care of it myself. And I kind of went both ways. I have a friend that gave me a good discount. They do kind of like handyman type of contractor work, and they were able to put up a fence and do a bunch of other things there at the house that were kind of major.
So that helped out a little bit too on the cash. So you had a separate rental checking account where all the money rents come in, and then where you pay your mortgages out and your insurance and stuff. It goes in and out of that account, correct?
No, nothing goes out. Everything goes in and nothing comes out. I'm able to pay all that with my work, with my income, my full-time job income. Okay, very good. But at least as we increase the rents, then the monies were there in that rental checking account to do the repairs or improvements or whatever. Okay. Yeah. So I never felt like I was low on funds or I need to gather funds somehow. So I was always okay on that.
Yeah, we've really stepped that up in the latter years, is making sure people have that separate account, because unfortunately, if they don't, they just innocently squander it away. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got an extra $3,000 in my personal account, so let's go somewhere this weekend. And then all of a sudden the hot water heater goes out. And okay, where's the $1,400 going to come from, right? So I'm glad to see you've done that. So you got the 2 rental properties. Obviously, you're more buying and hold, and eventually they'll get paid off by the residents' rent, right? Okay, eventually, and some of your own monies. But what has this done for you as far as in terms of having these rental properties, in terms of solving what you wanted to accomplish by having a couple rental properties? Has it done that thus far?
Oh yeah. After about the first year, I realized how valuable that my decision was to go with property management. I was working full time, going to school, doing some volunteer work. So, and I've heard the horror stories of, I've had friends that own rental properties and they do it on their own. And they're always fixing something or going back and forth with the tenant. And I don't want to be in that position where, I get called in the middle of the night or have to fix a water heater or something. I don't want to have to deal with all that, or collecting. So I realized after like a year went by, seeing the repairs that have to be done and all the other things that have to be done, I realized how valuable that decision was.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's, a lot of people, they look at maybe how can I save $8 on a faucet, or $30 here, $20 there. But obviously you've been able to not only have one, but now you got 2 properties, and maybe more, as time goes on, and that's going to pay big dividends as far as once you retire and they're all paid off and you got the cash flow coming in from them. So that's a beautiful thing. So, Paul, if you were to jump back in a time machine, let's say, okay, you zip back 23 years, before using our property management service, what would you tell yourself to do?
I would say everything's going to be okay. Just do it and you'll appreciate it later.
All right, good. So somebody that, let's say it was a business associate, family member, or somebody that was looking to get into buying rental properties now, what advice would you give them? And if they were just starting to get into the game today?
I would say Management One is great, and it's worth it. I think a lot of people look at the cost, the percentage that's taken out of each month's rent.
The management fee.
Yeah, the management fee. But I learned something a long time ago, back in the 80s, the mid 80s. I dabbled into Amway, if you remember Amway. I think they're still around.
Oh yeah.
But I went to a seminar, and I didn't do too well with Amway, but I like their products. But I remember a seminar, a really good speaker once said, in order to be successful, you must build your success upon the success of others. And that's how I looked at Management One. It's kind of a give and take thing. So that also helped me realize that, okay, yeah, it's going to take cost and take out from the rent, but what are the benefits? There's a balance.
Yeah, very well said. I've never heard that before, but you're absolutely right. You've got to, you've taken your time and looked at another property where some people are just staying with one property, but by you looking at it at a much higher level, you're being able to acquire another property, and who knows where it goes from here. So let me ask you this, as far as what made you stay with Management One for the last 23 years? It's not like it's been 2 years or 10 years. We're talking over 2 decades here.
That's a good one, because I did try another management company. I'll tell you this: when I bought this house back in 2013, I kept my the other house over well, St. Andrews. Almost forgot the street already. St. Andrews. And so there was another property management company, that would charge a less percentage of the rent. So I said, I'll try them. And everything went smooth. The sign up was quick, of course, and everything went good there. But then over time, I realized, oh, this was a mistake. Nobody's there to answer the phone calls. The tenant has my phone number and he's calling me to take care of stuff. I'm like, call the management company. I had to tell him that over and over and over. And it was starting to become, he was starting to become a pest to me. And I'm paying the management company to take care of that. So he calls me, I call the management company, then they take care of it, and it's a delay. But yeah, it was they would take out less, but that went on for a year or so, and then I finally said, that's it. I'm changing to putting that house on management one. And I did, and I'm glad I did that. So
yeah. Well, what happens? You become the manager in that case, right?
Yeah.
And you're still paying a management fee. I know I own properties in about 7 different states, so I have management companies manage for me. So I sit where you sit, right? Which I think, by the way, makes us a much better company, because when I talk to my staff and we have these discussions, I let them know, look, this is the kind of service I get, and I know that's not the kind of service we're going to give. And so I really think it's been a pinnacle point in us being able to deliver the service we've been able to give, because I didn't like that. I still don't like it today. In fact, today I had something, they said, we need $800 to fix something. No breakdown, no nothing, just send me $800, right? And I'm going, this is unbelievable. So, I really appreciate you saying that. So we do appreciate your loyalty and being a customer for over 23 years. Paul, I can't say it enough. I mean, we wouldn't be where we are today, not anywhere close, if it wasn't for the many people like you that have been so loyal as far as to Management One. And from myself and my other partner, Sherry, we thank you very, very much.
Oh, well, you're welcome, and thank you.
And anytime you need, give me a call personally. My number's on the bottom of every newsletter. I don't put my email, because if you need to call me, I want to be talking to you like we are today. So call me anytime.
All right. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
All right, Paul. You have a good evening, okay?
Okay. You too.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.